Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alima and this is my review of Medicine Wives Season 10 Episode 4.
Then she came back, then she hopped up on the piano like, ah!
Alicia please. Alicia please. And then your husband's just sitting there looking silly, looking goofy, like both of y'all can go. So anyways, we open with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly going to Phaedra's house. And Dr. Jackie, that was a very nice outfit, like from the heels on up, but like you really wasted it going to Phaedra's tacky ass house. Like, granted, you didn't know, you had no way of knowing it was tacky whenever you were invited to go, but it was tacky nonetheless. And you know it's bad whenever Heavenly has something to say because Heavenly's house looks like something out of 2004, 2005. Like she herself, all the junk she was talking, she could use a remodel, maybe a little renovation, a upgrade. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. By the way, Dr. Heavenly, if you ever come across my videos, I would really, really love a smile by Dr. Heavenly because, like, yeah, I would just really like that. But anyway, so Dr. Jackie confronts Phaedra and she says, well, do you still think it was a good idea that you decided to bring Quad to Letitia's pamper party? And here goes Phaedra with her Phaedra, you would be a bit more palatable if you could just maybe stand in your BS, or I don't know, make it make sense. I mean, you are an attorney after all. Aren't you supposed to be convincing? Phaedra says, well, I didn't bring Quad. I extended an invitation and she never confirmed that she was coming. Well, honey, whether she confirmed that she was coming or not, you still felt the need to invite her. Like, have you not learned from your ways over there on Atlanta Wives? Then you go on to say, well, I actually think Quad ushered in a new spirit. The only spirit that Quad ushered in is the spirit of Mr. Potato Head, honey. Phaedra asked them, well, have you guys I brought Quad because everybody's been asking about her, but have you guys tried to reach out to her? And Jackie was like, she doesn't call or text back. If she does, it's like 6 months later. And whenever she does show up for you, it's to her benefit and in her convenience. But basically, Jackie said, Quad, you're too busy, and you're too busy, and you're too busy.
And you're too busy, and you're too busy, and you're too busy.
And another thing, I'm trying to figure out what that was that Phaedra had called herself cooking for them. What was that? And then Jackie was actually eating. I was surprised to see Jackie actually eating it because every other time we see a plate in front of Jackie, she you know what? Never mind. So then another thing, Phaedra, you still look dry. And then in this episode, like I feel like it got progressively worse. Like that blonde bob or shoulder length hairdo, whatever you want to call it, and then the piece of curl they tried to put in, it just did not make it any better. Like it was still like brush fire. Like I feel like we should have had a fire extinguisher somewhere nearby. Like, and then as I think about it, like when I was trying to figure out what about you makes you look so dehydrated, I think it's like your under eye bag area, which I have the same problem myself. Maybe not as much as yourself, but yeah, I can relate. But anyways, maybe your makeup artist can use like a little less powder under your eye, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she could go in with like a hydrating concealer, maybe like a hydrating under eye cream, moisturizer, also, maybe a hydrating setting spray, you know what I mean? Urban Decay has a pretty nice one. Morphe has a nice hydrating misting spray. And then what also doesn't help is your lashes. Like I really hate like a spaced out lash. Like you have all the means in the world. Like I get my lashes from the beauty supply, but they don't look like it. Yours look like it. Like, can we get like a mink, like a faux mink, maybe like a wispy, maybe like Ardell or Kiss, maybe like I don't know, but the one that you have on now, it's not doing you any favors. It's not doing you any favors at all. Heavenly starts talking about how she doesn't believe, she still's not convinced that these people should be getting married. And Heavenly is right, like two volatile, two crazy, unhinged people does not mix. Like one person needs to be docile. I don't know, it's about to be WWE in that house, like. So we cut to Gregory and Letitia at the wedding venue, and she's just like expressing her frustrations. And Gregory's just expressing how like he just wants to make sure that she gets the wedding she deserves, and he'll do anything like to make the relationship work. And Letitia's just like, oh Gregory, like the way he's showing up with his cape on, like everyone should have a man like Gregory.
Hey, you see? We met these two girls and we went back to a hotel.
Everyone should have a man like Gregory.
That on my head. Where hit me in the head. Somebody smacked my ass. I've been taking care of you since the day I met you.
Everyone should have a man like Gregory. Anyways, so we get to meet Letitia's family and we get to meet her mom. Her mom is very pretty. I love her micro locks or sister locks. I'm not sure which one of the two they are, but they're very nice. But Greg is 5 years older than her, and whenever her dad stood next to Gregory, it looked like he was standing next to his brother. Like, Letitia, like, you're marrying your uncle in a sense. And then she tells us that her dad actually was more for the relationship than her mom because her dad was like, you got to get a little access to the money. And so that's what Letitia's doing, honey. We go to Cecil and Simone's house, and I really don't like how the tone that Simone approaches the conversation about her son with. Like, you're talking about him being a grown man, but like, he's never gonna get the will to if y'all are still doing everything for him because that's what it's giving. It's giving like y'all still clean up after him. And this is for you too, Cecil, because like I agree with your perspective as well, but like I said, y'all need to meet somewhere in the middle because y'all pay it seems like y'all pay for everything. Like, does he have a job? Like, I myself, yeah, I've been in school for a while, but I work full time and I pay for school myself. Like, I pay for school. My mom is not paying for my school. So, but if my mom was paying for school, like, yes, you need to hurry up and graduate because, like, you're wasting people's money. Like, you need to give them some type of responsibility, like, pay a phone bill, a utility bill, maybe your car insurance or something like that. But you can't be complaining and then still enabling the situation. Like, it's not going to change itself. And then, Simone, you really sat there and told this young man that you and his father aren't hunching anymore. Like, I already know how I got here. I don't need to know whether my parents hunch or not hunch. Like, ew. They started showing everybody like riding to the wedding. I don't know if it was just me or like if anybody else pays attention to body language. I don't like to read too much into it because some people may just not be affectionate like that, but that stuff is real. Like it's valid because like if you pay attention to the body language, like Cecil and Simone, for example, Cecil's body language was very neutral and forward facing, and Simone was slightly leaning away, like towards the window versus rather than leaning towards him, which is very reflective of their relationship in the sense that we all know that Cecil complains about not hunting enough, and Simone doesn't want to be bothered. Yeah, that just is really reflective of how Cecil kind of seems like he wants it more than Simone does, and Simone seems a bit more complacent. And then we go over to Eugene and Toya, and both of their body language is kind of neutral, forward facing, but also they're like slightly leaning into each other, and that makes sense because their relationships gives very much like not hot but not cold, like very mild, like very regular. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like, yeah. So that was interesting. And then we get to Heavenly and Damon in their car, and they're very much leaned into each other. And Damon is like holding her hand, and not saying that Damon and Heavenly are perfect, but it's always very apparent that they love each other very much. Like I've never had to question um if they love each other or not. So everyone arrives at the wedding, and Dr. Damon, like I understand that you're losing weight, right? But can we get like maybe a suit that fits a little better? Maybe like a bit more tailored, you know what I'm saying? And while we're at it, could we maybe get the steamer, maybe an ironing board, and some starch, maybe? I don't know what the material calls for. Maybe throw it in the dryer on tumble dry low. But you looked a bit disheveled, you know what I'm saying? I've seen you look better. Same with you, Heavenly. Like, your dress was nice, I guess, but like, I really don't like when people dress up really nicely and they don't do like their hair or makeup. Like, your makeup looks like it was the makeup from the night before. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you don't care to be here, but we could have at least acted like it. Simone, you low key wore white to this lady's wedding. And you should high key be ashamed of yourself. And you know that dress was basically white, girl. Who else? Dr. Jackie. What in the seat belt? What is this dress? Like, I don't know what was going on. Like, and then like you were real stiff with the two. And then where is Curtis? Like,
You're too busy, and you're too busy, and you're too busy.
you keep saying he's in the Dominican Republic for some type of project, but what project? Because last y'all said like he retired from coaching, and the last time he was working, he was doing project management for you when y'all were rebuilding the home. So, Curtis, it's funny how you can show up for the booty shaking, like you made sure to show up for that. But okay. Toya and Eugene looked really good. I felt like Eugene's suit complemented Toya's dress really nicely. Um oh, and who did I forget? What do you know? Dr. Alicia and her goofy looking husband. Nobody cares. Anyways, Dr. Heavenly and Damon get denied at the door. I feel like that was kind of petty. Like, okay, Letitia, I understand. Like, I completely get not wanting Heavenly to be there, but you could have like sent a text the night before, maybe that morning. Like they also went out of their way to be there because it was their daughter's prom the same day. Granted, I mean they're there for a check, but I mean it's just like just out of consideration for Damon, you could have, given a heads up because he has nothing to do with that. So like, did you run that by Greg? Was Greg okay with that? Because Greg, if you were okay with that, like that's kind of messed up. Speaking of Greg and Letitia, Greg looked really nice on their wedding day. Like he gave more like a big wow reveal than Letitia did. Like when I saw Greg, I was like, damn, Greg looks the best he's ever looked. Because like Letitia, it's not that you look bad, but I was just like, okay, like I was just like underwhelmed. Like you were just there, and then like the makeup was very nice, but like everything else was like really kind of dated. Like the pearls in the hair, like that brooch in your head, like it was giving very 2009. Like, yeah. Anyways, Greg, that walk, honey,
Oh no. Y'all know I have a brother that's handicapped.
in a couple years, if you're not careful, because I don't know if it was just me, maybe I was looking too hard, but I saw a little limp, like, and it wasn't like a it wasn't like a show, it wasn't like a gangster lean or nothing like that. It wasn't like a pimp limp or not. It wasn't like a pimp dip or nothing like that. It was more like an arthritis limp. You know what I mean? Maybe we could get you some Ben Gay, maybe some icy hot, you know maybe some vapor rub. I don't know. I heard that's very effective. I don't know. But yeah, it's giving stiff in the joints. We go over to Phaedra and she says how they've been together since the 12th grade, married for 8 years. Together since the 12th grade, married for 8 years. This is the same woman who couldn't give a straight answer as to what her due date was. So I'm not really surprised at her jumbling of the dates. But if I'm not mistaken, I thought Apollo was younger than Phaedra, and by a few years. So since the 12th grade, when? In between 12th grade and 8 years of marriage, when did you find time in between there to be known in Atlanta as the head doctor? Baby, you and timelines don't go together. You should just never mention dates when you're talking to people. You know what I'm saying? You should be very vague. Oh, Phaedra, your dress was very, very nice, and you didn't look that dry at the wedding. But as nice as your dress was, I couldn't help to think of Mother of the Bride. It looked very matronly. You know what I mean? But it was nice in a nice color. Child, they showed Quad in her bubble bath, and I'm just like, Quad, like, if you're so great and sought after, how come like Gregory is getting married before you? Granted, there's nothing out there these days, and whoever marries Gregory would be, settling for hell. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Like, you're not you're not selling it like this. Miss Quad, like Mariah said, she lost it, because like you have the nerve to go on Watch What Happens Live and say, of course, Greg and Tisha are trying hard for a baby because they want another season. But sweetie, do you want another season? Do you? Because I don't think you deserve one, because like as much as you like to act like you're the end all be all for the reason why Greg and T are on this show, as if they as if they revolve around your existence. I would like to point out that you would not be relevant on this show. You would not be relevant on this show without them. Like, and the same cannot be said the other way around. Like, we don't need you on the show for the ladies to reference you. We don't need you on the show to know that Greg is your ex. We don't need you on the show in order for anyone to bring you up and use you as a dig against Letitia. Like, just as much as you were here from the start, so was Greg. So we are already very much aware. So I, I wouldn't be mad if you didn't return. But anyways, you guys, I'm so glad I got through this for the 50 bajillionth time. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. And yeah.